what was the reason that you switched from that mainstream journalism to this journalism on YouTube or Instagram or social media?
When I was working as a journalist, I was working in some TV channels, so-called biggest TV channels in India, like India Today and etc., Quint and etc. I really enjoyed the experience, but I just thought that most of the stories that they were telling revolved around politicians and entertainers, and I really wanted to build a platform where I could, give a voice to people who do not, get a voice in mainstream media. So that's the reason I quit.
What is your journey? How do you approach them, or what exactly works out in the background?
In the beginning, 1.5 years, I struggled a lot. I did use like personal savings and stuff. It was not a lot. I would say like 3-4 lakhs is what I spent on making my first 150 videos. I would travel in a very shoestring budget, and I would stay in mediocre places. The first in the 1.5 years was really a struggle, but after that, I started making money, and I make money through different ways.
Hello, friends. Today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Sai, and he brings stories of change. He has a channel named On the Ground with Sai. What he does, he travels across different places in India, he meets new people, and he shares their stories. And these stories have struggle, these stories have hope, and these stories have courage. So, through these stories, he's bringing a real life change from the ground. It's not just about storytelling, it also about capturing those powerful moments and making a real life difference. So if you want to learn how storytelling works, what are the real life challenges that our country is facing, this podcast is a must watch for you. And without a further ado, let's get started with this podcast.
So you basically belong from Bangalore only, or you are living with your friend as well?
My home city is Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm there a lot. I'm here as well. I travel also a lot for the work that I do. So it's a mix of different places. But recently I shifted to Bangalore. I wanted to do like a new content series, and lots of my friends are here. So I thought it's a good place to move and some change as well. So yeah, and my partner is also a chef. So she will get a lot of opportunities in Bangalore. So for
That's
all
right,
these
that's right.
reasons,
Yeah, you're correct. So Bangalore
yeah,
you can get a lot of opportunities. Coimbatore is
yeah.
also a good
So.
place, na? It's mainly famous for Sadhguru.
Yeah, it is famous for Sadhguru, one of the reasons. But yeah, it's a very nice city. It's a very good city. It's a good second tier city, good weather, good people, small community. I like that. I like second tier cities.
Weather is also good. Now, yes, this Delhi, the weather is very bad currently.
Horrible,
The
horrible.
air quality and then pollution and
Yeah,
then smog.
it's ridiculous. I was there in Delhi as well. I was working there for about 3 years. I started off my career after finishing engineering and then journalism. I was working there for 3 years in Film City, in India
Noida.
Today, Quint. Yeah, I was working as a political reporter.
So, Sai, what led you? Maybe you were working in Noida in mainstream journalism. And then what was the reason that you switched from that mainstream journalism to this journalism on YouTube or Instagram or social media?
So I just thought like, when I was working as a journalist, I was working in some TV channels, so-called biggest TV channels in India, like India Today and etc., Quint and etc. I really enjoyed the experience, but I just thought that most of the stories that they were telling revolved around politicians and entertainers, and I really wanted to build a platform where I could, give a voice to people who do not, get a voice in mainstream media at large. And I want to create a platform where I can tell stories about India and tell India's story in a very different way through a very different lens. And that's the reason I quit. And I wanted to have my own voice. I wanted to have my control of my own creativity, creative freedom. And I also wanted to travel, meet interesting people by myself, and also live a very experiential and a very interesting life, which I believe contributes to a lot of personal growth. So, because of all these different reasons, some genuinely personal, selfish reasons, and some for what I think is good for the world reasons. So, a combination of both let me take this decision of just traveling across India and filming stories. Yeah.
So was it a conscious decision or it was just in a moment you decided that you need to switch and start this?
I think I saw some videos online and some creators online. When I started, it was like 4 years ago, and that time content creation was not something that was super popular as it is today. It was the beginning, but I saw some creators make a lot of bank and live a much better life. So I got inspired by them, and I immediately decided, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to start doing this. It was actually a very momentary, conscious decision.
So who were your inspiration at that time?
At that time, my inspiration, some creators, well, I think Nas Daily was a huge inspiration for sure, and there's no doubt about it. And then I like even Casey Neistat, and what else? And the inspiration was also the people of India, the country that is India in itself, and the diversity and the cultural diversity that comes along with it, and how there's such a broad range of personalities and individuals doing very different things. And so I thought, like, in India, such a developing country right now, when it's a developing country, there are a lot of people who are building startups and innovations that are providing solutions to some of the biggest problems in the world. So I thought it would be a good time to document India. So I say a mix of these things were my inspiration.
So Nas Daily is doing something on a bigger level. I think now Nas Academy and a lot of other stuff he has also started. I think you are also associated with him in some way, na? Maybe you are using
Yeah,
his platform or something
I
like that.
work in NAS Academy. Yes.
So what exactly is Nas Academy doing?
So NAS Academy is basically, we build courses and we teach budding content creators, anybody who wants to learn content. And so that's pretty much what it is. So we teach like AI integrated tools into how you can create content in a much more efficient manner. Before AI, we were teaching everything from 0 to 100 to content creation, writing, filming, editing, social media marketing, branding, personal branding, editing, you know, different ideation, storytelling, basically everything about content creation with like examples from the real world. And yeah, that's basically what NAS Academy is about. And I'm one of the educators from all over the world who also teach.
Okay, so that's great. So I think that is I think source of revenue also for you.
Yes, it is a source of revenue as well. Yeah, it's also good revenue. Yes.
So mostly the finances or the funding that you need for creating your videos, because you need to travel also na, to different part of the countries. So in that scenario, uh,
Mhm.
cost of production becomes a bit high. So how are you managing your finances?
I think in the beginning, 1.5 years, I struggled a lot. I had to use like personal savings and stuff. It was not a lot. I would say like 3, 4 lakhs is what I spent on making my first 150 videos. I would travel in a very shoestring budget, and I would stay in mediocre places. The first in the 1.5 years was really a struggle. But after that, I started making money, and I make money through different ways. Number one is by being an educator at Mass Daily. Number two is where I work with brands, tell stories about interesting purpose-driven brands. Number three is I help brands also build their social media profile. I'll be like, hey guys, let me help you with viral content strategies or storytelling frameworks and techniques that will help your brand stand out on social media. So I work as a brand consultant for them. So that is number three. Number four is I host workshops. So I guess it's a mixture of these three, four different things is how I make money right now. Yeah, different avenues for revenue.
So how much time do you devote to each and every activity? My content creation takes more time, or these educating is taking more time. So what
I
exactly?
think content creation is the 60 to 70% of it is content creation because yeah, 70%, 60, 70% of my time goes into making content. And yeah, that's what I would say. Even the brands that I collaborate with, which is a high source of revenue, also is about creating content for them on my page, right? So it's mostly 60 to 65% would be creating content, and the rest would be the rest 35%, like 15% on education, another 15% on working with other brands and consulting with them. So it's a mixture of different things. Yeah, even in Bangalore, I'm working part time at an institute called LIT, which is called Learn, Innovate, and Transform, which is India's first creator university.
Oh, great.
Uh, it's started by these bunch of startup guys, and they reached out to me. So there also, I'm educating people about content creation. So that is also another source of revenue. So yeah.
No, this sounds interesting. Na? So what that creative university does, so they teach how to create content, or what exactly is that happening?
Yeah, it's that's what it is. The business behind content creation, the marketing behind content creation, and also how to be a content creator. Like, yeah, similar to what I do at NAS, but this is offline. Well, it's students firsthand, and people come. There's a classroom, and it's like going to college. But the college is about, cultivating and harvesting creators. Yeah.
That sounds good, na? Because now you have the knowledge of how you can create content also. So I think what this university or sort of thing is doing is they are making it accessible to people also.
And they call upon people like creators like me, who are semi-established or established creators who already know what content creation is, so it's easy to pass on that knowledge.
So what do you think? Suppose if somebody is looking for maybe creating something, so this content creation, should there be a passion involved first, then he should explore? Or suppose if somebody is not even having a passion, he joins the university and then he can create content. So what is more important, skills or passion? What do you think? Well, skills university is teaching,
Both.
but passion, if somebody is not having passion, he's only doing it for money, so will he be able to sustain? What do you think?
I think it's subjective, for sure. There are a lot of people who do stuff just for money, and that's okay too. But content creation, I'd say, is a more passion-driven job, more passion-driven job for sure, because it doesn't promise you money immediately. Like, you have to work really hard for you to build a certain base, and only after that you get money. So you can do that only if you're really passionate about it, and there is no set time and space as to when you will have your first breakout video or your first viral video, as to when you get your first brand deal, right? So it you can sustain that long, only because of passion, and it's a long journey. Like, it's not something you do for 1 or 2 years. It's something that you have to continuously do. So I think it's definitely comes from a sense of passion, and especially when you're creating content on a particular niche, and you pick that niche because you are interested in it, you're passionate about it, you're good at it, right? So I think it is definitely a passion driven job, but you also need to do the skills in order to execute that passion. So I'd say, first passion and second skills, but both is equally important to sustain in the long run.
So
Yeah.
one thing that I also think now, because in your case also it's mostly passion, because you are covering stories of people across the
Yeah.
country. So
Yeah.
how difficult it is to find those stories, because these stories are generally what we do not hear otherwise.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
find those stories? Matlab, what is your journey? How do you approach them, or what exactly works out in the background when you are covering a story?
Good question. I think I find my stories in like three, four different ways. Number one is through the internet. I Google, I research a lot. Number two is, as they say, Google has everything, right? So I really research a lot on Google. Number two is, I was a journalist back in the day, and so I have a good network of journalists across the country, right? Suppose if I'm going to Bombay, I know some journalists in Bombay. And I will just try to find journalists in that particular city who are aware of the stories in that particular vicinity, right? If I'm going to Shillong, I'll find some journalists in Shillong through like mutual contacts, a lot of networking, and who know stories in their own surroundings. So that's number two, is through my network. And now my network has become so much more bigger because I've traveled like 19, 20 states. Right. So that is number two, is through my network, through local journalists, through local newspapers. Number three is, I'd say, through my stories itself. Like, as a podcaster, other podcasters,
Hmm.
right? So when I go film a story, I'll always be like, hey guys, do you know somebody else who's doing something interesting in your own city or in your own village? So very often than not, somebody knows somebody. They'll be like, hey, yeah, Sai, there's another interesting person who's also doing something interesting. You can go cover them. So stories through my stories. That is number three. And number four is now because of my audience. And through my audience itself, I've found like 100, 150 stories in my bank. I always have stories in the bank from different parts of India. They'll be like, hey, Sai, come and film a story here. In Bombay, come film a story here in Lucknow. So it's a different audience from across India, right? So a lot of people suggest me stories from different parts of India as well. So it's these three or four different ways. And I also observe a lot when I'm traveling. I'm constantly researching, talking to people, and when I'm traveling, I'm constantly observing, seeing what can be a story in a particular city or a particular town, and so it's through these three, four different ways, and I would say this is a successful model. I don't know if it's scalable. That is up for debate, but it's a successful model if it's me traveling to another place and and filming it and. I've documented like 350 stories now across 19 states. So I think it's a fairly successful way to find stories. Yeah.
And how difficult it is to tell a story in a short duration of a minute or something like that, because you are
Good
creating smaller
question.
form of content mainly, na?
Yeah. I record like I talk to the subject of the story for at least 40 minutes or 50 minutes. And then I listen to their whole journey. I record it. And then I come back home and I translate that recording into 1 minute script. I think it is very difficult. But over time, you get an idea as to what part of their story needs to be told. Because I've done so many videos, right? So after 150, 200 videos itself, which is a lot of videos, after that you get an idea about what part of the story you want to tell and how to craft a story. You get better at it, and yeah, it is difficult, but you get better at it as practice gets you better. Yeah, but it is a very difficult process because traveling to these very remote parts of India, experiencing it firsthand, which is the fun part of the story telling process, is experiencing it firsthand, then documenting it through a lens, through your own lens as to how you perceive it, and then doing the interview, filming it, flying the drone, and then coming back, and then translating all that into a script and making it a video. It's a long process, but that's the beauty of it as well. That is a choice that I made consciously, that I just don't want to be just another content creator. I don't want to sit at home and make videos, because what change does that cause in me? Right, I also have to become a different individual, evolve, grow, and become more interesting and amazing as a person, so that I can achieve only if I have more experiences. And something like this can really contribute to my personality. So even if content creation is something that I say goodbye to tomorrow, I still have a lot of that learning and experience in me, right? That I value a lot, that I don't showcase, but it's just something that's my own, right? So yeah, it is very, very difficult to answer your question, but when I go to a state, I film like 15 stories. That's how I do it. Like, I research for one full state. I go to Uttarakhand. I stay there for 15, 20 days. I film 15, 20 videos in 15, 20 days, which is content for good 2.5, 3 months. And then I come back. So it's a very, systematic process like that. So it is very difficult, but it's also amazing. I've grown so much as an individual because every story is different from each other. And yeah, it's like I'm living a different life of another person for a few hours.
So how do you decide? Because see, when you are covering a story, na, so how do you decide that, okay, this person's story should I tell, this person's story should I not tell? Malab, how do you judge whether a story should be told or not? Because sometimes there are some stories now which you feel that this story is a good to tell story, but sometimes it
Good
happens that
question.
maybe you, or sometimes it may happen that might be you went there, you recorded that
Mm,
story, and then when you
mm.
came back to the drawing board, you figured out, okay, yeah, this is not something that I want to tell. So does it also happen to you?
Think I'm the one who picks the story, right? So usually it doesn't happen that after I experience it, I don't want to tell it. It doesn't happen like that. But pick a story based on what I call as the four I's. It has to be informative, inspiring, interesting, and impactful, right? If when I read a story, if I'm feeling these emotions, if I feel like wow, so much impact they're creating, if I'm reading a story and I feel like hey, this is so inspiring, or this is very interesting to me. So if it checks at least two of those four boxes, four I's, if it checks at least two of those four boxes, I go and film it. And all of these, a good story is very subjective, right? What you think is interesting is might not be interesting to me, right? It's like movies. uh, Certain movies people love, certain movies people don't. You might like certain films, I might not like certain films. So I think it's like that. My I think what I bank on is human emotions. Like if I find it inspiring, somebody else might also find inspiring, right? So based on that, I take a call. And also, like, it should be interesting to me. Like if it's I try to find different stuff that I have not found before. right? So that is very, very important for me. And it also has to interest me. It should be a new experience for me. Otherwise, it's boring. I can't film the same shit over and over again, same kind of people. So I try to find stories that are different from what I've done before so that it's interesting for me and also interesting to the audience as well. So these are the different parameters I judge a story on.
Okay, so any story if you want to share that when you went there and you shot that story, so it had a very big impact on yourself also. Maybe the way you were thinking, it changed after that. Or maybe it was bigger than your anticipation. Maybe you went there for shooting a story, but then whole together there was a different thing happening there. Maybe something bigger than you were expecting, or maybe it made you emotional.
I think I love everything that I cover for sure. Like every story is like a lesson and a uh yeah, an experience by its own. But I guess like some stories do have a very profound impact on my psyche. Number one would be this doctor in Karnataka, in rural Karnataka. He's like a top cardiologist in Bangalore from Monday to Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, he goes back to his village and he treats thousands of people for free. Like Friday midnight onwards,
Hmm.
like 3-4 thousand people line in queues so that they can get treated for free from this doctor and his team of people. Like it's incredible. So that I thought was just amazing, God's work. And that is one story. Another story is about recently when I went to Uttarakhand, this beautiful village right by the foothills of the Himalayas, and they were basically all the women in the village converted a part of their homes into homestays. Okay, and they started doing this from 90s itself, like Airbnb since the 90s. So they convert a part of their village into homestays, and they make a lot of money out of it. Like it's beautiful homestays, and it's such an equal society. Everybody makes money equally. They grow together, and the homestays are very beautiful, right by the Himalayas, and yeah, and they make like 50 lakh rupees turnover for the entire village, which is like a lot of money for a place in village in Uttarakhand. So that was an amazing story as well. So I think these two are the top of my head for now. Yeah, that were really, really inspiring and they really had a profound impact on me. Yeah.
And one thing that you are doing now, you are also promoting, say, sustainability. You are also
Yeah.
the creator of something like that. So,
Yeah.
how did that came? Matlab, it was it something that you were doing from your childhood that you were environmentally conscious,
No.
or it also happened in midway something?
I think it's just that I love nature a lot. Subconsciously, I love nature. And I'm drawn to anybody finding solutions for nature, for planet, for the planet Earth. And climate change is such a real issue. And it's the need, it's a problem that that needs to be addressed immediately. And so I think I like sustainability stories a lot for people who are going out of the way and protecting the planet and not worrying about themselves. That takes a lot, no? People who are not selfish who go out of the way to protect the planet. And I think that those kind of people need to be highlighted a lot and the innovations need to be highlighted a lot. So I've just been doing a lot of sustainable stories subconsciously itself, but that is just one direction of the many kind of stories that I tell. But I wouldn't call myself as a sustainability creator. It's one of the different stories I tell. Yeah.
And what about some challenges in the form of threats? Because see, what we have seen now in recently, there was a news also for a journalist in Chhattisgarh who was covering something, and the local mafia, they got hold of him, and so
Why?
very
What did he cover?
so he was covering some scams or something happening in the city, maybe.
Hmm.
So for that, now
That
so
kind
the
of
local
stuff
mafia,
can.
the contractors and something like that, they caught hold of him. And so, do you also feel or do you also face some threats like this when you are covering any such stories?
No, mine is all positive stuff, right, Amit? So, not scam involves a lot of other investigative journalism kind of videos. I don't do stuff like that. Mine is very positive, easy, good feel stuff. So, nobody threatens me. People have a problem with my story sometimes and my opinion sometimes on the chat. They will be saying stupid shit,
Mm. Mm.
but apart from
But
that,
that's only.
I don't. Yeah, that's normal, but I don't get any hate or anything. I mean, yeah, I don't get anything else. Apart from that, nothing else. But I do get some criticisms for some stories that I tell. That happens. People are opinionated. I mean, can you believe I say such positive stories? If you
Hmm.
have a problem with this kind of content, then what can I do? I don't know. But yeah, I don't give a shit.
So yeah, you are correct. Now, say whatever you create, there will always be some percentage
Yeah,
of people criticizing you, whatever good
yeah,
you're doing.
yeah. You cannot impress everyone, and it's not my job to impress everyone either. The majority of the people like it and share it, and they feel good about it. I'm happy. Like if I can inspire someone, that's enough, right? What else?
There is a quote also, na, कि there is no key to success, but there is a key to failure, and that is trying to please everybody.
Yeah, true. That is a rabbit hole.
So, how's your family's support in what you are doing? Maybe when you left your job and you planned that you will be creating content on your own. Because, see, when you start creating something on your own, well, in initial days, you are not sure how it will be
Yeah,
going or how
yeah,
the future will be. Because
yeah,
it's very difficult. Now, we see a lot of people who start something on their own, maybe it be content or something. So it's not always a figured out path. Maybe you may get
yeah,
success, you may not get success. It may take you
yeah,
years and years.
yeah.
So how exactly was your family's support, or maybe what exactly happened in that?
I think initially, they've been overall extremely supportive and very supportive. There's no doubt about it. My parents, though, like there's no doubt about it. They've been extremely supportive, unflinching support. But I think, of course, they also had their doubts and skepticisms, like even how I did. Just like how you said, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty even now. Like it's not that, I know what this career is going to take me like 1 or 2 years down the lane. You don't know, right? It's a very new industry. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty. The game is to embrace the uncertainty, to be okay with it. That's the game. The more you embrace uncertainty, the better, and more you grow. Like, so you shouldn't let it affect you. You should just believe in the process, do continuous improvements on whatever you're working on, and you will see results someday. Nobody stays a loser for the rest of their life if they work hard, and that's for sure, right? But of course, like the first 1.5 years when I made no money and I was making money until then, I come from a privileged background, so I had that ability to take that risk, and I also had some savings in the bank. Uh, but my my parents were very supportive because they saw how hard I worked. It's not easy what I do, right? I worked really hard. I worked every single day, and I would write, film, edit everything by myself, and I had no money. Now I have a team, right? So they saw me work hard, and they themselves used to be like, "Yeah, you're working hard, and that's what matters." Like, so what if you don't make money for 1.5 years? What's the big deal? So yeah, it's okay, right? Like it's just a risk you're taking for your life for better outcomes and for following your dreams. That is the process of it. So they were very supportive, and there's no doubt about it. When they saw me working hard, they were okay with it. Yeah.
So I think that was maybe that's why you were able to do it also, because sometimes it may happen na, that uh, somebody who's struggling financially, then it becomes difficult for them to pursue their passion also.
Yeah. 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 True. True. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. Find ways to survive. If you keep going, that will life will give you some ways to survive. Like I believe in that.
So what exactly is in the future? Matlab ki, as of now, you are just focusing on maybe short form of stories. So do you plan to expand it to longer form of stories, maybe documentaries or something like that? Is there anything in pipeline like that?
I don't know. Like, let's see. For now, I'm gonna do like a startup series of sorts, startups about India. I'm yet to start working on it, but that's what I'm gonna do next because I'm in Bangalore. I want to do stories on purpose-driven startups. Okay, and apart from that, I don't know. Maybe a Netflix show would be great. My dream is to cover the villages of the world,
Hmm.
and so like a documentary series on the villages of the world would be my dream. Hopefully, it happens someday, but. For now, this is it. I'm going to just really focus on expanding whatever I do, like tell more impactful stories, focus on getting more traction and followers, build my base, and also improve my LinkedIn so that I could start helping people build their content strategies and stuff. I study a lot of creators, so I could use that knowledge to helping others build their social media profiles. So yeah, I would say this is my focus for now.
Okay, so that sounds good. But one thing also I wanted to ask you is that the amount of effort that you are creating on content,
Mm-hmm.
the returns that you are getting, are you satisfied with that, or
No,
maybe, yeah,
not satisfied. I should have 1 million followers by now, don't you think?
yeah, that
Yeah,
is correct, because see, the amount of effort that you are creating, because the 1 minute of content that you are posting, if
yeah,
you see the amount of effort that has been put to create that 1 minute of content,
yeah.
that is
It's
very
true.
much high.
It's true. It's true. So yeah, that's why I'm making these changes. Going to start telling stories about startups. I'm going to work with an agency that is going to help me with distribution a lot, and I'm thinking in different ways so that I can really scale. I want millions of followers. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to be one of those creators who's going to put a lot of effort and not get the returns. That's not nice. No, that you feel very hurt when that happens, right? Especially when you see so much trash content out there.
And they are getting millions of views.
Yeah, I'm just like, what's going on? So I'm not gonna let that happen. But at the same time, it's okay. Like, I have an experience that nobody else does. Like, who else has traveled 20 states in India and documented stories like these? Like, that is an experience I treasure for the rest of my life. But just because I don't have 1 million now doesn't mean I'll never have it. No, so I have to work towards it. I have to make changes. Maybe I'm destined for bigger things, for doing bigger things. So I'm going to think like that, right? That is a better outlook, don't you think? Instead of cribbing about why I don't have 1 million followers, maybe this is universe's way of telling me that Sai, you're supposed to do something more, better. Like then you'll get it.
Plus those trash content that you see, na, even if they have
Yeah,
millions of followers, the followers are also, you can say, some kind of that genre only. But the kind of impact that you are creating, the quality of followers will also be different, na?
correct, correct, absolutely. You might 1 million followers of mediocre thinking people is different from an audience like what I have, right? And that's what I think too. Yeah, yeah.
So
I don't think we can just measure people based on numbers, no.
so you are, see, you are also associated with Nas Daily, so he's an international creator, and you are creating
Yeah.
content in India. So, have you ever researched about that also? See, the audience that we have, so
Mhm.
they are more focused on watching that trash content instead of watching something impactful, meaningful, learning.
Uh,
So,
yeah, definitely. That's how the world is. I mean, what can we do? Even we like watching trash content, right? It's just how the world works. Nobody wants to consume intellectual stuff all the time. Like, I think that is a small number of people who want to do that. But I do think when done in the right way, there are enough people to watch that as well. Nas Daily has 50 million followers.
hmm.
Like, if he can do it, why can't I? Like, so we can't blame people who watch trash content. There's enough space for everybody on the internet. There's enough space for everybody in this world. So that's something I'm not doing right. That's the truth. I'm not doing something correctly. I have to figure that out. And yeah, that's what I would say.
So what generally do you do? Suppose you have created a story and it did not get that much attention or view that you were expecting. So at times when you face a low, maybe you are demotivated because the content is not working, or generally you
Mm.
might feel a bit low. Now, okay, I'm creating this much sort of content, I'm not getting.
100%, 100%. I
So
feel I feel
how do
like
you
shit.
tackle that situation?
Initially it used to bother me a lot, especially because I put so much effort into every video, right? But now I'm like, I can only do my best. I'll do my best for the story. I'll put it out there. If people watch, they watch. If they resonate with it, they resonate with it. Some things which I don't expect will get millions. Something which I expect will get like 100K, 40K. That's what, like, it depends on so many factors, Amit. Like, it depends on who's watching that video when I put it out first. It depends on who's sharing. It depends on who the algorithm is taking to. Like, so many factors. You cannot blame yourself. You can only do your best. So I'm just going to focus on doing my best. Yeah.
Plus the
No?
comments you get on those videos, na, even if less number of people are watching, but whoever is watching, they are highly inspired by what you are doing, and that shows in your comments also.
I hope so. Yeah, I really hope so.
Okay. So how do you think, suppose this calm nature that you have, that it helps you in connecting with people? Maybe because when you are going to say you are from Coimbatore, and when you are going to say Sikkim or Uttaranchal,
Hmm.
talking with the locals, so that is altogether a different culture, no?
Yeah,
So
it is.
how
It
do
is a
you
different culture.
bond with them? Because I see na, the way you communicate, it looks like you know them from a very long time. So that bonding shows in those videos. So how does that happen?
Really? Does it? Does it
Yeah,
show?
it shows.
I think I'm very good at connecting with people. I'm really good at it. It's my biggest strength as a human being. I can make friends like this. I can talk to people and get into their minds in no time. That's the easiest part for me. And I really enjoy as well. I really enjoy talking to people, listening to their stories. I enjoy conversations. I mean, like, that is a personality trait that I have is that I can easily get along with people no matter who you are from. I can make people very comfortable. That's very easy for me. And that being said in the background, that is language barrier, of course, right? That's what you're asking me. But
That
I
was
do know
something I
Hindi.
wanted to ask the next. That
Yeah.
there the
Yeah,
language
I
that
do know
you say.
Hindi, Amit. So if you know Hindi, you can survive in most of this country. And the people that I film about, usually there will be at least one person in that village or one person in that community that will know English or Hindi. Like it's actually never been a problem uh, for me to. Language has never been a barrier. Somehow I survive. Like and cultural differences also be there, but at the end of the day we're all human beings, we have the same emotions. So if you just capitalize on those emotions, you can easily connect. And I'm very like professional. I immediately go there, I say hello, and immediately get to the story. I record the interview, I film it and leave. Like that's how my process it is I'm very straightforward. They know why I'm coming. Already they know, so it's transactional in a way, but also very immersive and genuine in a way as well. Yeah.
So whatever stories that you cover, na, sometimes you feel that they are creating an impact and it shows. Maybe suppose you covered a story like the Airbnb thing that you told, and then maybe the number of footfalls to that Airbnb or something increased or something like that. So do you have that something like that has also happened maybe in the past?
I I usually don't measure impact, but my job is usually done after I post the video. I'm happy. Like I'll send it to my the subject of the story. Once they say we love it, Sai, I'm done. That's it. That's my job done. But I know, of course, every video gets at least on an average 100, 200K. So I'm sure they get a lot of attention. And some people uh, get like global attention. Some videos have gone like 15, 18 million, 10 million. It'll become a global conversation. Like news outlets will start covering them. They'll get so much attention. Some of their Instagram profiles have grown by 20, 30K followers because of that one video. And yeah, like all of that happens. Priyanka Chopra has like some videos. She follows the page as well. And stuff like that happens. But not as much as I want it to happen. I want more impact because the stories are like that. No, it's just not about me. It's about the stories which are amazing. These people are amazing. These communities are amazing. They deserve the attention of the world. And I feel bad. It can inspire a lot of people. And so I feel bad when the stories don't get the attention they deserve. That is my biggest worry. Yeah.
So do you plan?
And then,
Yeah, please.
sorry, no, 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 go ahead.
No, so that you're telling us that you want to have some more impact.
Yeah.
So do you plan to maybe expand your team so that you can cover more number of stories or something like
No,
that? Is
more
that
impact
in
means
mind?
more traction. Like more traction. That is more impact. One story, if I do in a month also, if it gets 10 million views, I'm happy. Right. So it's about impact. And I think that would mean altering my format a bit. Something is not working in the format. So I need to rethink the format, do things differently. And I put the stories first. I don't put myself first. Many creators talk about themselves a lot. No, that is lacking, and when that lacks, the connection between me and my audience is lacking, right? So I need to work on that, and I need to change a lot of things in terms of format, uh, for it to reach more people. Yeah, that is my focus this year.
Is there any spiritual angle also? Because you are named Sai, so your family is devotee of Sai Baba or something like that?
Yeah, they are devotees of Sai Baba, correct. And I had a very small accident when I was baby.
Hmm.
So, and I wasn't named that time, but eventually they named me Sai because my mother saw visions of Sai Baba or something. That's what she says. I don't know to believe her or not, but that's what she says. And that's why my name is Sai. But otherwise, I'm not a very religious person. I like temples of all kinds. I like going to temples because of the energy, but I don't pray to God every day. No.
I think, well, that is correct also because you have that positivity in your mind. And
Yeah.
suppose if you are in front of a temple, something like that, but neither you are against it nor you are actively following it.
Yeah. I believe in like helping people, nature, music, all that is God for me. I don't know if I want to believe that certain statues or set in stone kind of God principles. That's not my thing. Yeah.
And what about spirituality? Maybe this is different from religion. So are you a,
Not very spiritual either. I love nature a lot. That is, music can be very spiritual for me. These two things, that's it, I'd say. And when I'm deep into my work, I find that very spiritual. But otherwise, what is spirituality anyway? I don't know how to define it. But
because say you are from Coimbatore now, Sadhguru has this Adi Guru
yeah,
statue and there's whole big ashram, people from across the
I'm not
country.
a Sadhguru fan. There
Also, people from
are
across the
many
country
people in
visit
my city who
Coimbatore.
are not Sadhguru fans. Yeah,
So that is okay. I think you are correct. Maybe because
yeah,
this perspective that everybody is having.
yeah. Yeah, to each their own. If it helps you, good. But I didn't feel the need to gravitate towards it. Yeah, I don't understand
And it's actually
cults
right
like
also.
that.
Na. See, neither you are against it, nor you are actively
Yeah,
seeking it. And suppose
correct.
if somebody feels that, okay, it helps them in their journey, then it is good for them
Yeah,
to
true.
follow.
Absolutely. If you find faith in it, go for it. But don't force me to do it. That's all. Yeah.
So, what do you feel? Suppose what legacy do you want to create for yourself? Matlab, what does success mean to you?
Success is living an experiential life, having great relationships, uh, helping other people, and that's all. Like relationships only successful, I'd say. Like having great friends, family that you really care about, having great experiences, travel or otherwise, and meeting interesting people and helping people in the process, impactful stuff. All of this is success to me. Like I think money is a consequence of all this anyway. So yeah, success is all of this, I'd say. I would say a life well lived. I don't know if I can call it success. I would say a life well lived. Yeah.
So
What do you
recently,
think?
are- you're correct. Exactly, you are correct because it's more about the experiences that you are having. And
Yeah.
this is also sad, na? Because even from the past, also, if you see the incidences, so the traveling has always been glorified, right? Because if you travel, you learn a lot of things. So
True.
that is happening in your case also. Now you are traveling across the country,
Yeah.
and this in itself is now you can hardly say there are people who born live to say around 70, 80, 90 years of life,
Mm,
and
mm.
they have never moved out of their city.
Yeah, correct. Majority of our countries like that only know. Including my own parents, they hardly travel.
So that in itself is an experience that you are learning, you are
Yes.
seeing what exactly is happening. And for that, our country, if you see now, our country is having such a vast geography. You have
Yeah.
mountains, you have beaches, you have desert, you have forest. So everything is there. Culture-wise,
Yeah.
also there's a difference in culture across the length and breadth of the country. So
Mm.
What impact does that have on you?
I'm not able to say exactly. Maybe I'll be able to say in the long term. But short-term impact would say being extremely open-minded, learning about different subjects, uh, very different subjects. One day it's about farming, one day it's about education, one day it's about innovations of different kinds, different problems, different public infrastructure problems. So I'd say like a really open mind. My mind has widened in different horizons. My perspectives have evolved in a very to a very large extent. I cannot define it, but that for sure. And ability to connect with people of different kinds. It has enriched me in ways that I can't even imagine. That is number three. Number four is I've become a very visual person because when I go and film a story, I'm thinking about how I can tell this to the world. So I've become a very visual person. Uh, what else? Number five is I'm accepting of everything else, almost anything and everything in life. I've become very tolerant and accepting of most things. I really believe people should do whatever they want to do, and that is one of it. I believe in the strength of community a lot. I believe in doing something meaningful with your life. It's important to live a meaningful life that helps other people as well as brings a lot of meaning to you and your community. And I believe in villages a lot. I love villages. And what are the learnings? I'd say, and really like design your own life. Like anything is possible if you design your own life, live life in your own terms. And people are living different lives out there. So yeah, all of these things I'd say are these good learnings.
So these are good learnings. Yeah. Matlab, you can say more of a sort. These are experiences also that you have
Yeah,
experienced. Learning is also something. It may be different for different person, no?
yeah,
But your learnings are
true, true,
at,
true.
at least you have clarity and you have experiences. Then it's a learning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know where I can apply this knowledge once again in a different aspect of my life. I don't know. That's yet to be discovered. And also, like one more thing, like before you ask a question, or what are we going to say? Like it was a masterclass in anthropology, understanding humans.
Hmm.
That is like 350, 360 communities and people where I've got into the skin in 1 or 2 hours. So I think it's a masterclass in humanity. That's for sure. Yeah.
So that's
And
what philosophers used to do in the past, na? Like Ibn Battuta and those coming from China, those philosophers.
yeah,
They used
yeah,
to say these things.
yeah, correct. And I feel if you can master human beings in this world, you master a lot of things, right?
Hmm. Correct, correct. You are correct. Exactly. So one more thing also, na, that I wanted to ask you is that how much your team is helping you currently. Matlab ki initially you were doing all by your own, and sometimes it happens na, building a great team is also important currently because say
Yeah.
the level of passion that you are having, you cannot expect your team to have the same level of passion.
Yeah, true. But yes, but since there are different aspects to content creation, there's writing, there's filming, there's editing, uh, all of that, right? So if I one benefit is I have two editors and I have a team of script writers. I have one script writer, but she's a team of her by herself, so it's like a team. Okay, so that team of script writers are that's a company that is passionate about script writing, right? And editing as well. My editors are passionate about editing, right? So I'm giving them jobs that they are already passionate about. So I don't think I have to do anything with respect to increasing their passion or anything like that because they're already passionate about the skills that they do every day. So that's not a problem. But to answer your earlier question, I have two editors, I have a team of script writers, I have a social media manager, and that's it. The rest I do by myself. I travel, research, and film by myself because that is something I really enjoy. And if I let go of that, then what am I doing? So I want to travel and film at least. So yeah, I have another videographer who films my stuff when I'm talking to the camera. I have a couple of videographers, freelance video. Everybody's freelance videographers. Everybody's freelance. That's it. Yeah, this is my team. I like the fact that it's a small team. And yeah, I like that.
And are you happy with that, or do you want to scale?
I want to scale to a certain extent, but not a large extent.
Hmm.
I'll have another 10, 15 people, 10 people in my company. I'm happy. Like, yeah. If I can, like it's like WhatsApp. WhatsApp just had 20 people, but
Hmm.
millions of people used it. So I want to be like that. I want to have a small company with a lot of impact, like, you know, and make enough money as well.
Correct, correct. That is correct. And what about the other stuff that you are doing, maybe educating people? So how
Um,
passionate about you are about that? Or
I
maybe
love education. It's my favorite job among all the other jobs that I do. The education is my favorite. What I do at NAS Academy is my favorite more than content. I love educating because educating is also learning a lot, right? So I get to learn a lot. I get to impart knowledge. I get to be part of a community. I really like it. Love education.
and I think NAS Academy, whatever you will be doing, that will be going on a international level only, na?
Yes, all the students are from all over the world. I've already taught like 3,500, 4,000 students from 100 countries. I love it. It's such a diverse place. Um, I would do that as a full-time job too. Yeah.
That is correct. So what exactly is the impact NAS Academy or NAS Daily is planning to create? Because they are doing something on a next level sort of thing, na, and suppose you are working with them, so you might be having some idea. Because
I think right now they want to do communities like Nas.io is a thing. What they want to do, he wants to help people build their own communities so that they can monetize their communities. So that is their next big thing. That's already their big thing. They're seeing a lot of people, they're onboarding a lot of people as well. So they want to help creators build their own communities so that they see that as a viable and sustainable form of revenue in the long term, because otherwise content creation is like uncertainty is very high. So I think the communities is their current big thing. Yeah.
okay, so some questions regarding the business point of view, now, because I see a lot of people who also plan to create content. You are creating content, you are creating stories, you are associated with NAS Academy also. So you have insights into both the things. Uh, suppose if there is a young person, maybe in college student, and he plans to create content, maybe something similar to your lines, or what would you suggest to him how he should approach? Or how she should start?
I think be very particular about what niche that you want to tell videos about and start looking at social media like a business platform. Think of it as a marketing platform from the beginning itself, and all think about how you can earn money from the beginning itself. You don't have to do it now itself, but think about how what are the possible ways to earn money. That's very important. And also look at it like a long-term journey, so it should be something that you're passionate about, otherwise it'll die out, you'll burn out. So look at it something that you can do for years together. And what else? And focus on continuous improvement. If some videos are not working, see and understand and analyze why it's not working and make those improvements so that there's more chances of you growing faster. And yeah, I'd say all of these things.
And what are the skills that he needs to learn if he wants to start?
Everything. Writing is very important. Writing, filming, editing, learn all of these skills, like at least basics of all of it, so that you have a direction before giving that job to somebody else. Even if you can't do editing, you should definitely learn writing. Writing is extremely important.
ठीक है. And how or what amount of content she should post? मतलब कि it should be one video every day, or is there any such algorithm like that, or there's no such criteria?
There's no such criteria like that. I'd say that do whatever you can. I post 2 videos a week, and do what you can. Like, don't pressurize yourself. Do what is sustainable for you, and stick to it. Be consistent. That's important. Yeah. Do at least 1 or 2 videos a week. If it's short form, 1 video a week. If it's long form, yeah, at least.
Can this content creation be a full-time job also, or anybody who's planning to start, he should focus it as a part-time thing or passion thing only?
It can be a full-time job for sure if you have enough followers and uh, enough revenue from the platforms and enough brand deals you get. It can be a full-time job. Yeah.
But don't you think now, I think on content creation also saturation may come because the number of people that are creating content is increasing day by day. Plus,
Yeah,
the span
it
of
could happen.
viewers is
It
also
could happen.
getting increased. No?
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. True. It's subjective. Like it depends on many factors. You could have it as a full-time business, depends on how big you are. But it's also possible to do many other things and make money as well, like how I do.
And this is something, see, I am seeing even the big content creators and influencers also doing, because they are also focusing on creating some alternate income, maybe a business
Yeah,
based around
yeah,
their content. Maybe they are
yeah,
launching some products. Maybe
yeah.
some products may get failed also. That may
Correct.
happen. But they are also trying to create, because content creation, what is happening now? Now the content creators or YouTubers, they are planning to enter into business,
Mhm.
and the business founders, they are starting to create content. So
Yeah,
now
it's true.
a lot
Both
of
are happening.
founders of startup, they are coming on social media and they're creating content.
Yeah, true. Both is happening. Good. Both should happen. Both is needed.
So what they're using, they are using content creation as a marketing channel or distribution channel. So suppose if you have a distribution because of your content, then suppose if you create certain product on that your audience will be interested in purchasing, then it may be a good fit for them also.
Yeah, true. You're right. You're right.
Plus content
It
is
can
like a
complement each other.
plus one thing is happening now, even if you see na, there were some big content creators 5 6 years back. Now they are not able to create that much amount of content, or maybe the audience has shifted. Now their content is not getting that much number of views. So that also happens, no?
Yep, that also happens. Yes. That you need to have an exit strategy, like how you're going to exit, like build a business around it. Or yeah, like something like I do where I consult with brands, help them build their own presence. So it should be something like that. You should be able to make a business out of it, or build a community or something like that. It should be something like that. That is only sustainable. Otherwise, it's very difficult.
Any last point of advice that you want to give, and we'll wind it up.
Advice, I don't know. Should I give advice? Advice to budding content creators, I've already given, right? But otherwise, like, um, it it is definitely a good experience being a content creator, that's for sure, and it pushes you in very different directions. So I think it's worth taking a chance
And any
on
advice to
yourself.
me, because I'm also starting.
Advice,
Yeah.
advice to you, Amit, I'd say be consistent. That's very important, and pick a niche. Uh, Maybe you could interview content creators of different kinds and help people as to how other content creators can grow, and that is something that you can do. And yeah, I'll say pick a niche and stick to it. Make content that is very helpful to other people. Let your podcast be about helping other people. That way a lot of people will watch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly,
I'd
exactly.
say, yeah, maybe like there are a couple of people called Colin and Samir. Have you heard about them?
Yes, Colin and Samir, I've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is a model that you could probably, follow. They have a very nice model. Check them out.
I've
But
checked them out, but I've not maybe seriously watched them. But now that you have advised me now, maybe with that angle, I'll watch them now.
subscribe to their newsletter.
Sure, sure, sure. I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chalo, yeah, sign. Thank you.
But otherwise, get good guests and you'll grow a lot.
And so I'll stay in touch now, because I have a lot of things to learn from you now, because you are going in a meeting or something like that. So I'll stay in touch, and maybe if I ever need any help, then you may guide me.
Yeah, whatever I can help, I'll help. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure. Sure, Sai. Thank you so much. Na.
Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. Thanks. Sai. Thank you.
Bye. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Bye bye.
I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed a lot. I hope the same for you also. No?
Yes. Thank you so much. Good questions. Thank you so much.